Mounts for the Dolphins. They have to go on the road to one of the tougher environments in the NFL. It all comes your way in just a few hours. Jeremy Fowler is in upstate New York getting us ready for this one. Jeremy, we know Josh Allen coming off the nose injury. He's expected to be playing with a visor on tonight. What do the Bills feel their quarterback won't have to shoulder the offensive load alone tonight?
Yeah, Laura, Josh Allen knows that he does not have to do it all by himself. James Cook, one of the top rushers in the league, and the Bills have 11 different players with at least 25 scrimmage yards. That's tops in the NFL. So Allen has no restrictions. He can still do his dual threat thing. It's just the Bills want him, as they always do, to be careful when he decides to be a bulldozer and try to run people over in the middle of the field. Protect that face a little bit. Bigger challenge over Buffalo is on defense. Ed Oliver out. Matt Milano out. So they'll be relying on younger players like Shedeur Sanders, Dorian Williams to shoulder the load. It's a unique opportunity for Miami to try to stick with the run. They have not done that this year, just 27 rushes through the first two games. And then real quick, Laura, I spoke with Miami edge rusher Jalen Phillips. He told me Mike McDaniel has not lost this locker room despite the 0-2 start. The energy, the effort, the locker room morale has all been good. They are simply not producing and cannot get off the field on third down. He said that's been the most frustrating thing for the entire team.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that and some of those matchups you noted there, Jeremy. Thanks so much for the latest. Welcome. We're here. Let's start this thing off. We've got Dan Orlovsky, Peter Schrager, and Jason McCourty here, our regular Thursday crew. Dan, how will Buffalo try to make things difficult for these Dolphins, this defense specifically tonight?
You'll see a lot of times tonight 2 and 3 tight ends on the field for Buffalo. It's the #1 offense in the NFL when they do that. And the way that they can get simplistic in their run game when they'll take Dawson Knox and Kincaid and Jackson Hawes and run the football, or some of their play action game that allows them to just look at Josh Allen. Multiple tight ends. So not just 2, they will line up at 3 with 3 on the field at times. Josh is unbelievable in it. And then James Cook running the football is very good in it as well. So this is a thing that has become a staple for their offense through 2 games. It's also something Miami defensively struggles with a ton. I would be surprised if more than 30 to 40% of the snaps tonight are not with at least 2, if not 3 tight ends in the field. Absolutely.
Yeah, to your point, that 3 tight end set is kind of taking the place of the extra tackle, what we saw Joe Brady do last year. And to be honest, everything has worked against the Miami Dolphins in this defense. They've been abysmal. Second to last when it comes to third down conversion, and second to last when it comes to points. So as I look at this game, the front 7 for the Miami Dolphins, they went into this season, and the secondary was a mess because Kader Kohou gets hurt. They signed Artie Burns. He gets hurt. They rolled out there in their first game of the season. It was the first time that set of 5 players ever played in a game together. Minka Fitzpatrick is the anchor there, but Rasul Douglas now steps in for a cornerback run where guys like Storm Duck are hurt, and that was your #1 cornerback. So I don't see how Miami can stop this Buffalo Bills offense.
Can you once again say the name? Storm Duck.
Yeah,
#1 North Carolina.
Storm Duck.
Name.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
North Carolina.
Peter, it has been, as you heard Jeremy alluding to, a rough start to the season for Miami. How crucial is tonight for Mike McDaniel?
Yeah, you take a temperature online or on the message boards or with Dolphins fans who are very, very sensitive right now about the future of their team, and it might be that this is do or die. If he's fired, he's out. I don't get that sense. Even if people in Miami, it's like it's a long season. They almost won last week. And you look at what they've got next week on the schedule. On this network, Monday Night Football with the great Dan Orlovsky in the booth.
Let's go, Dan.
Jets versus Dolphins in Miami. If you get blown out tonight, it's not good, and there will be people calling for McDaniel's head. If you lose to the Jets in week 4 and start the season off 0-4, losing on national TV 2 weeks in a row, losing to a Jets team that did not look great on Sunday at home, that's when we start really talking about this. But I don't think a loss to the Bills, who are Super Bowl contenders, is going to be the reason Mike McDaniel loses his job.
Yeah, Mike McDaniel, by the way, 3-13 in his head coaching career against teams with a winning record. So it's part of the bigger picture as well. All right, let's get some top stories here. Adam Schefter joining us now.
Not all.
Oh, hey, Adam. What's going on? Let's start in Washington. Was Jaden Daniels on the practice field today?
Laura, moments ago, the Commanders' official injury report was issued, and Jaden Daniels officially did not practice today for a second straight day. The tone the Commanders are using suggests that Jaden Daniels right now might have a tough time being out there on Sunday. They said the soonest he would practice would be Friday. I don't think it would be a surprise if Dan Quinn ruled out Jaden Daniels on Friday, and if Daniels can't go, then Marcus Mariota would start Sunday against the Raiders. Aaron Glenn, the Jets head coach, already has ruled out Justin Fields for Sunday's game at Tampa against the Buccaneers. Tyrod Taylor will step in and replace Fields. Jets play in Tampa this week before that noted Monday night game against the Dolphins, so Fields will have a little extra time to try to get through concussion protocol and clear it next week. And moments ago, the 49ers practice got underway in Santa Clara, and for the second straight day, Brock Purdy is on the practice field. Now we'll see whether it's a limited practice, a full practice, but he is out there, and as Kyle Shanahan said yesterday, there is a chance that Purdy will be able to play in Sunday's big matchup against the NFC West rival Arizona Cardinals. We'll see. Again, I think they're comfortable with Mac Jones, and if Purdy is not fully there, then it's easy to turn to Mac Jones with the success he had last week at New Orleans. But for now, Purdy is out there on the practice field for a second straight day.
That raised our eyebrows in here. We'll talk about that game in just a little bit, so more on Purdy to come. But huge NFC playoff rematch this week as the Rams head to Philly, where Saquon torched L.A. en route to the NFC Championship game. Of course, the Eagles running back isn't the only one having their way with this Rams run defense. Look at this. Since the start of last season, including the playoffs, the Rams have allowed the third most yards before contact per rush. As far as Barkley goes, he's had 200 rushing yards twice in his career. Both came against the Rams last season. J-Mac, that Rams defense got run all over last year in their two matchups with Philly. Saquon, obviously a big part of that. How can they avoid that same fate, though, this week?
Yeah, those two games, they rushed for 599
Lord.
yards. But when you go back and you look at the divisional game, yeah, it is insane. Saquon's still running. That second game in the playoffs, though, they were better than what you look at it. Most of his yards, 140, came off 2 runs. This was the longest in the game. Right now, they have a great setup. Jared Verse jumps into the gap. Now you have 2 guys there, which opens up a free lane for Saquon Barkley. If they don't do that, and they play the way they did on 24 of the 26 carries of shutting him down, limiting him to 60-something yards, they'll be able to pass rush. And when they're able to pass rush, it creates different things. You're going to see Young off the ball here. He's going to come and wrap around the right side of your screen. But watch Jared Verse. Watch what he does to Mekhi Becton when he comes in. That is a stunt, my friends. You're coming in, you're trying to clear a path for your buddy, but you open it up for yourself and you end up with a sack. They sacked Jalen Hurts 7 times in that divisional game. When they're able to stop the run and they can get after the passer, that's when they're at their best.
So they're going to have to be undisciplined, or disciplined,
Yes.
unselfish.
Yep.
They got to pitch a shutout. That's their challenge, I think, if you look at last year, to your point, and really going against a back like Saquon, it's not every single snap. It's not the one snap, it's every snap. You know, like this 4-man front, I think the couple things, you got to set edges, you got to have gap integrity, and you can't just scrape over the ball just because you want to scrape over the ball. Like 5-man front, set an edge. The one person who matters the most here is that backside backer. And you can see him peeking like, do I want to get front side? Do I want to get front side? Nope. I think the unselfish element of not wanting to be hero ball is going to be huge. Because, J-Mac, to your point, like when they get into pass coverage situations, I think they're really good. I think they play with great leverage. I think they tie the moment of disguise or rotation with their pass rush.
Yeah.
It's just, can they get there? And can they be perfect? Like, against Saquon and this off, you have to be perfect.
Belichick used to always say it, against a back like that, everyone's at the point of attack. So to your point, whether you're on the front side of the plane, he's running towards you, or you're on the back side and you think, oh, play's going away from me, just like that, Saquon can make a jump cut, and now he's right in your face.
But you got to do it like with discipline, right? It's not like everybody run to the ball.
No,
it's got to be controlled.
Attack. If you're not disciplined, then you screw your guys on the other side of the ball. So you have to make sure at all times you are disciplined, whether the play's coming to you or away from you.
All right, so J-Mac's going to break down defense better than anybody on TV. You're going to break down offense better than anyone down. What the heck do I bring? I bring you this. Everyone get to know the name Brad Rogers. Who is Brad Rogers? Brad Rogers is the official for Sunday's game. And you better believe the league office and the Rams have been in a lot of discussions this week about how this tush push is going to be officiated. They had a lot of discussions about it last year in the snow, and look what I'm showing right here. This is a 4th and 1. The Eagles do a tush push, and guess what? The officiating crew had been hearing about it all week long. They called a false start. They called a false start on the they called a false start, and they're going to be aware on both sides of this. It's going to be a point of emphasis.
I love this.
This is a tush push from the Rams side. Everyone's talking about tush push. Are they jumping too early doing it? Jason Kelsey came out and supported it. Of course,
Rams were against it. Am I accurate with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Rams were very against it. And McVay was one of the leaders saying it's just not a football play. You better believe Brad Rogers, the official, will be all eyes on those third and short. Brad Rogers. I got a Brad Rogers jersey at home.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't?
Zebra. You might have Herbert. You might have Lamar. I got Brad Rogers. I watch the officials. He's going to be a key figure in this game, how he calls this game.
High school Foot Locker employee?
You got it, with a whistle.
That's incredible. By the way, the Eagles have already picked up 6 first downs this season via the tush push. The rest of the NFL has 5. For reference of how well this for another division game in Week 3, hosting the Broncos, and zone will be a hot topic in this one. Bo Nix already has 4 turnovers this season. All 3 of his interceptions have been against zone coverage. That's tied for the most in the NFL. Now, zone defense is nothing new for the Chargers. It's what they do under Jim Harbaugh, 3rd highest rate in the league since he took over a year ago, and they do it well, leading or co-leading the NFL in picks and pass breakups in zone coverage, also top 5 in pressuring the quarterback. Dan and J-Mac, why is that Chargers defense so tough on QBs?
Yeah, their zone defense often plays out and feels like a man coverage. I think